Hi guys, welcome back. This is the Female Esports League Elite Losers Bracket Finals. We are your casters for this game. I'm Meta.
And I'm Iconic.
And this is a rematch between Barcy Esports and Team X. They did face early on in the winners bracket with Team X getting relegated because of that. But Barcy Esports meets their match on Posse PH waiting right now in the winners bracket finals. And this is take two.
Yeah, looks like Barcy Esports taking note of the Mundo stealing the Baron, immediately banning that Mundo straight off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just give Team X that momentum, that confidence coming out of that game. It was quite the epic game that kind of stalled out and then ended in that walk-in Baron steal by that Mundo.
The drive-by by Suzy Sor.
Yeah, but Team X is also taking note of how they lost onto Barcy last time, getting that Taric out. Barcy is blue side again. They may get that Taric again. That would just stall the aggression that Team X can put this time again.
Yeah, and so far, Nar not being banned. Remember last time when they played, Suzy Sor didn't become a champion with her Necton just because she kept giving free grass procs onto that Shen. So I hope that we'll see a little bit of a change up in playstyle. I am looking forward to Suzy Sor just picking up that Nar. Like, you know, don't beat around the bush. Just pick the Nar before it gets banned out.
Well, Lois Gaming opting for another one of her comfort picks on that Zac, getting a bit more tanky this time around. She was a Jarvan last time. It didn't pan out so well during that time because of all the sustain and stall that Barcy had to offer. But Team X bringing some good artillery and onto that brand.
Yeah, so like, will we see the Kindred again? That I feel is the question, because I feel like Mika Daime can play a different playstyle as well. You know, play the really aggressive. We saw last game how aggressive both teams were, and I feel like, you know, just picking up the pace. I feel like there might be more aggression this game as well, because they are already familiar with each other. They have already played one game during this tournament, and I would like to imagine that both teams have their eyes on the prize for Singapore, those tickets to Singapore. We have the Kindred hover, but will she lock it in?
Well, it has been a long day, so these ladies are probably just operating in pure nerves, pure instinct, pure mechanics at this point, when it's really, really difficult to think straight. But looking back on their first game together, Team X ran a more team fight oriented comp, as they were very much used to in their past games, and Barcy Esports was just kind of the foil of that entire thing, and somehow it worked out for them. But now it seems like it's kind of shifted a bit. Barcy Esports opting to be more protective of that first pick, Tristana.
Yeah. So as you can see, like, very primal, like you said, you know, working on nerves, working on instinct, very primal. Like that last second switch from the Kindred to the Sejuani, I feel like a little bit of confusion on the side of Barcy Esports. They do not know how they want to run this composition. Usually, when you make a composition, when you enter pick and bans, you want to have a game plan, but you know, it's been a really long day, and I feel like they're just going back to their comfort picks again. And, you know, Mika Daime wants to just show that she has a little bit of versatility in her champion pool, going for the tank, going for a lot of damage coming out from the permafrost on the Sejuani that just got changed this patch.
And Team X opting to remove more of those enablers for that Tristana, or Galio out of the game. Sorry, Iconic, you're not gonna see another Galio here.
It's okay.
But Nar, as you said, Nar got banned out this time around. But we have to take note that there was another team who opted for this protect the Tristana comp, and it didn't bode well for them, because the map just got opened out, got opened up for the enemy team, and by the time the Tristana was able to scale, it was just too late. They were in the Nexus turrets and everything. So will Barcy keep at that, just have more tanks as well for Tristana, or will they bring in some damage into this last two picks?
Yeah, I feel like the question for these kinds of compositions is, will your AD carry become a champion? You know, like it's a guessing game. Will she become relevant? Yes, but most likely no, because a lot of the times when you get those mid game team fights, you still don't have your 3 items completed. So yeah, I like this pick coming out from Team X because Susie's are going to bring out the Jax. Jax has one of the highest win rates, even though you don't have that many games on Jax. So I don't know how experienced Susie Sor is on Jax, but Jax is one of the easiest champions to play in the top lane and have the most impact in a game. And then you see like the Cho'Gath being the answer to it. I don't know how this will fare. I really hate this matchup personally, just because Cho'Gath has infinite sustain. So as a Jax, you know, you just have to, oh, okay, fine. I won't solo kill you, and we'll just farm it out. But then it will reach a point where the Cho'Gath's just so beefy that you need Blade of the Ruined King. You need something to deal with all that HP.
And this brand pick on first rotation seems to be a support brand instead. They were getting this Corki onto the mid lane, it seems, for Team X. As you said, Susie Sor will be locking in that Jax for herself. This is quite the shift onto the playstyle of Janelle FT personally, because we've always seen her on that Nami, still getting the kills there though, but this time around we'll see her in more aggression, helping out that Caitlyn, really bully out that Tristana out of her lane. But meanwhile, Missy Hops, we've seen her just really be that commanding mid laner with her Ari last time, quite the mobile champ, but on an Annie, not sure how that would go for her.
Yeah, exactly. And if I recall correctly, Annie was actually banned against her the last time. So maybe she has some tricks up her sleeve. Maybe we're seeing the second coming of GT Lelouch. You know, a very old local legend. The Annie god himself. You know, rose to like top challenger back in season 3, season 4. Actually, season 2, season 3, and then, you know, maybe this is the second coming. I'm looking forward to what this Annie will bring, but this is the first time also that we're seeing Janie not run Ignite, because remember the Shen running Ignite, so being a little bit more respectful. So right now the question is, will this Jax run Hail of Blades? Will this Jax run Grasp? Will this Jax run Conquerors? Because there are so many options right now for Jax. Even Klepto or Press the Attack could work for Jax in this matchup. So we'll see what we have in store.
Well, this is the losers bracket finals. You're just one game away for that best of 3 finals to contest that slot to represent the Philippines onto FSL Elite in Singapore next month. So you'd wanna just at comp, you'd wanna minimize the amount of mistakes you're going to open up for your enemies. You're also going to minimize the amount of double-edged swords that you have onto your picks. But so far, where are you putting your money on if it gets drawn out a bit too late?
I like Barcy Esports because they have a lot of burst damage. You know, they have the ultimate coming out from the Sejuani. You have the Tibbers. You have the Feast. There's a lot of damage. Both sides have a lot of damage, but the main difference is that Barcy Esports is also tankier. They're bulkier with that Cho'Gath, with that Sejuani, compared to that lonely Zac, who has basically one half a tank in Jax. What I like though from Team X's side is that Brand will make short work of all of those really beefy tanks because of, you know, the passive dealing a lot of percentage damage and then exploding for more percentage health damage. So I feel like it was very nice that Team X opted for this brand a little bit early into the draft, and they're gonna have a fun time hopefully.
I'm actually not sure if they were flexing that the first time around, if they really meant Janelle to be in an offensive support. But the other thing that's noteworthy, that's kind of different in Team X's comp right now is it's quite a siege heavy comp. There's a Jax, there's like 2 ADCs. They're really trying to match what the Tristana can give in the late game. But I'm not sure if they can this time around really run that split push
Yeah.
comp against someone like Barcy Esports who can show like in the first game that they fought together that they can do some team fights pretty well but still pick off with the help of Missy Hops.
Exactly. And one other thing is Jax on Suzy Sor. I mean Suzy Sor on Jax. Sorry, that sounded wrong.
Whoa.
Anyways, Suzy Sor on Jax. This is the first time that she's being put on a hard carry. We've seen her play like tank, semi-tanks, team fight heavy, but this is the first time we're actually gonna see her play a split pusher. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how well she executes this because the Cho'Gath is a gigantic thorn in her rose. Like it's a gigantic pain in the butt, and I wonder how she'll be able to deal with it.
I guess we'll see a lot on how she plans to play this Jax based on the whatever keystone she tries to get. As you said, it could go so many other ways depending on how you want to deal with it. But as I recall, 9.1 kind of has a bit of a change on Halo Blades.
Yeah.
Can you explain that for us?
So like they reduced they made it instead of a scaling keystone, it's just a flat 110, and it doesn't involve auto attack cancel. So basically you can still get 3 procs of it even if you use your empower on Jax.
Oh.
Which in turn is really good because you get 4 stacks of your passive straight off the bat as Jax, and you won't feel a gigantic dip in attack speed when your Halo Blades wears out.
Well, given that, then I guess how they want to play this out right now is to just really bully out the Cho'Gath pre-6 and to just really get Suzy Sor to have some priority over her lane, and then the Corki anyway in that mid lane would be generally safe from most ganks, and Caitlyn on the other hand, we have seen her work. It's not she hasn't really drawn out a lot of pressure from a lot of junglers this whole tournament, so we're just gonna expect a lot of fights onto that top lane.
Yeah, exactly. So the question here is how fed can Suzy Sor get? Because if Suzy Sor destroys top lane, that's going to be an insane amount of pressure for Team X onto Barcy Esports, and I don't know how well they can cope with it. If Suzy Sor is adept at playing Jax, she'll be one slippery Grandmaster at arms.
But I think the dark horse here would be Missy Hops on that Annie. It was banned out, and as we said, that's an Annie with Predator actually.
Yeah, the right way to play
Yeah.
Annie.
Yeah, and we have seen it banned against her, and now it's open, and she's using it as some sort of trump card for what could possibly be Barcy's last game if they don't win it until the end, and they're all just really guarding the gates of their jungles right now. Team X having wards on both rivers.
Yeah, remember the pixel brushes dictate a lot of how the early game is played, but we will see again that they warded way too early. You want to ward these pixel brushes at least 1 minute, 10, but if you do that too early, you still miss out on crucial information because you need to wait until they finish one camp. If they do cross one after one camp, then you see them, but if they go for 2 camps, you don't see them anymore. So we see a pause real quick because some kind of technical difficulty again. Maybe it's something's wrong with like a keyboard, a monitor. It happens. This is what happens when you play in a LAN setting.
Yeah.
A lot of things can go wrong, but the only thing that can go right is for the team that wins, they get to go to Singapore.
Yeah, that's quite true. Well, at least we're resuming quite fast this time. No one gets DC'd or anything, but there's just a lot of things that we've seen happen in this tournament so far, but I guess not an grasp of the Undying Caitlyn just
Again.
yet for you. Yeah. So teams starting pretty standard, leashing their junglers quite hard, and giving out quite a bit of information though for both sides.
So yeah, as we can see, Suzy's are actually opting for the W start. There are actually the thing about Jax is you can start multiple ways because of how good all 3 abilities are. He is actually running Conquerors, which is ideal in a situation where he wants to play for the mid and late game, because that true damage will sting when Susisor is beaten down on that Cho'Gath.
That, as you said, the wards may have been a bit too early. The ward has already expired on the side of Team X for both rivers. It's actually a Barcy's ward that remains onto the Baron side river right now.
Yeah, and you can see like both junglers, they opt for two camp clears and then Scuttler. But the thing is, Lowest Gaming already on it, and I feel like we might have a contest, and it gets stolen by Wicked. Yeah, so that's the thing. If you know that the enemy jungler started on the red side, on the right hand side of the map, you always want to avoid it from going through their main route, which is that entrance to the right side river. But Lois just poorly, leashing the Scuttle Crab, accidentally brought it to the entrance and gifted Wicked a free Scuttle Crab.
And just like that, Barcy is actually in a position to kind of push their lane a bit more, given the security that they have right now, when it should be the other way around in this duo bot matchup. A lot of pings going off onto the top side as Susisor seems to be looking for something against Janie. Lowest Gaming's just gonna be there too. It's another Scutter steal by Wicked, and it forcing the flash off Susisor.
And that's the tilter right now, losing both crabs. You can see that Wicked is already 3 camps ahead compared to Lowest Gaming, and the early game not going so well for Team X.
Definitely not. And at least it's Lowest Gaming is on that Zac. She has a bit more room to gank in very odd angles without getting detected by mainstream wards being placed on
especially
certain
when
sides.
this Zac hits level 5 on that with the 3 points and elastic slingshot. But delaying that is such a big deal for Barcy, because that gives them more free time to actually exert pressure. And when you talk about pressure, right, you can already see that Janie is making short work of Susisor's life bar, already using 3 stacks of that corrupting potion, and Janie's just chilling, has all her potions intact, even has a biscuit, so we know for a fact that she opted for the biscuit and the magical footwear.
You'd expect that, and early on in this game, it's going to be Team X that would be quite the bully onto Barcy's laning phase. But as you said, because Lowest Gaming isn't as enabled as she's supposed to be to bring that danger onto these lanes, just to have Barcy fight with more caution, they're just free farming and accelerating in the pace that they want. Lowest Gaming looking for that blind spot to gank Barcy top. Susisor opting to just farm it up. The lane is pushed for her.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Wicked isn't opting for the Krugs, considering the Krugs have been rubber banded. If she clears this right now, it will be really good for her, because she'll hit level 5.
Will be hit by that permafrost, still holding on to a bit of a flash. Actually spends her barrier just to survive that gank. Yes, kudos for that.
Yeah, but very nice holding on to the flash. This is what usually happens when you're running Predator Annie. It feels like you don't have a keystone until you get your first back and buy those boots. And as you can see, Wicked already going towards the rubber banded raptor camps, and then probably gonna go towards the Krugs afterwards just to hit that level 5.5.
Untitled has bought her Sheen though, and that may be just in time if they're able to rotate it. It is an Infernal Drake that just spawned at the 6th minute.
That's been the story for the entire day. We've been getting so many Infernal Drakes.
Yep.
I think we've only had one game where Infernal Drakes didn't spawn. And looks like all the teams are very aware of how important it is. And Janie, being able to cancel that might even get an execute on her.
Susisor
Not
just
enough
has
mana.
2 bars,
And
1 bar left, and it's that first blood that Janie will be getting for herself.
And that was beautiful, because she used the biscuit to get just enough mana to be able to land the feast onto Susisor. And she just feasted on Susisor's remains and gets one free stack on that. Free HP.
The thing is, Suzy Sar saw that she was sitting on that. I bet she was just kind of looking elsewhere during that time, not expecting Janie to go that far.
Yeah.
Man,
That's why never go window shopping in League of Legends. If you're at a normal day going to the mall, sure, but when you're in the battlefield, in Summoner's Rift, don't go window shopping, folks. You're not safe until you're at that Summoner platform.
but then this is, if we're talking about the past stories that we've seen here in FSL, we're seeing Suzy Sor kind of playing in the back foot here against a tank as well. Is just really not giving her room to be that flashy initiator that just carries the team for Team X. They delayed her pick for a reason, and that just goes to show how much trust they have on her as a player. And it's just frustrating, I bet, for these players to see the top lane in that condition.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where Suzy Sor...
Oh, Barcy pulling the trigger onto Yaya, forced to flash out as well. We've seen so many Tristanas just really
jump in because they know their limits.
Yeah.
The moment that explosive charge explodes, she has another rocket jump. Could have spelled imminent death for this Caitlyn, but usually you want them to commit first, but no commit so far, and then already the flash is given up.
And Lois Gaming trying to get something out of it as well, but Wicked is there to wait for it all. Lois Gaming forced to burn that flash. Wicked is level 6, gets rooted, but roots another one back, and Ains gets a kill out of that.
Yeah, very squishy brand right there, but going back to the top lane, Suzy Sor is not respecting the Cho'Gath at all. Usually you'd want to get a little bit of sustain, maybe a Vampiric Scepter to survive
Oh,
it.
Ains jumps in again, knows that Ye doesn't have the flash this time around. Just
The
gonna
dancing
bully her.
BM also coming out from the Tristana. Did you see that beautiful sidestep onto the 90 caliber net? She just dodged it and then gave Yaya a little dab, a little dab. Shout out to Hyron because
Yep.
he loves dabbing. Yeah, just dabbing. Haha, nice net. But I'm gonna take this Infernal Drake for free.
That's not a Drake that Team X wants. A scaling team like Barcy to get this early as well. When again, Janelle FT has that brand for a reason. It's supposed to bully them out, but it's not happening for this duo bot, and that's because a lot of the rotations from their supposed jungler is just not happening because of all these delays.
Yeah, and the gap right now in top lane really huge. Mid lane going even so far. So you can see like the top side of the map for Team X is just far inferior compared to Barcy Barcy counterparts. You can see the jungler being ahead by 20. You can see the top laner being ahead by 30. It looks really, really bad, but the thing is Suzy Sor can scale, and the question is how will the 4-1 fare between Suzy Sor and this Cho'Gath later on into the game?
Thing is, I am not so sure why they last picked a Corki onto Entitled. They did have all the information they need for the matchup, and a Corki isn't something that you'd actually want to have as a pocket pick in this meta. What do you think?
Corki is actually in a fine place right now. Just the way you itemize, a lot of mixed damage coming out from Corki, a lot of burst damage as well. As long as the Corki can survive against the Annie burst, he'll actually be doing a lot of DPS. So you have two AD carries, but one of them is actually is actually 50% AP.
But then a champ like Corki would rely a lot on understanding the timing of his power.
Yes.
And it's just that at this point, Team X isn't really in a proactive position to do just that. And we have seen teams falter in making that clutch decision that now is the time for us to take this game back on our momentum. And I'm not sure if Untitled will have that for this game. Lois Gaming gonna catch Missy Hops here
And we have
alone.
package should be
And a package ready for Untitled, maybe?
It is 11 minutes. I don't know when the first package was actually used. I did not recall Untitled using the first package, but usually once you pick up the first package, the next package is 13 minutes. I was assuming that package was up because I don't understand why Lewis Gaming would go for that engage alone.
definitely not enough damage either to kind of whittle down the Annie to submission. And again, Barcy Esports has the pace on the pace that they want, has the game on the pace that they want rather. 12 minutes in, nearly a 3k gold lead on their side, taking all the time in the world to just properly scale and get their carries in. But MDS gets a good route into Janelle FT, and that chain will actually still stun her after the Zhonya's. Man.
A poorly timed stopwatch there. I feel like Janelle isn't in her comfort zone right now, in her element, because as you can see, she's just eating a lot of bindings, and it's cost her life twice already. The first time was because also Wicked was there landing that beautiful ult, getting her at the tip of the range, just landing that stun, and then them getting the kill.
Again, it was picked first rotation. We weren't sure if it was gonna be a flex pick, but then it seems so projected if they were ever since they wanted it as a flex pick given the comp right now.
And as you can see, Janie just getting 2 turret plates. That's one really big Cho'Gath. Then I wonder how many stacks of Feast the Cho'Gath already has, considering one came from Suzy Sor. At this point in time, I'd like to imagine she'd have at least 3, and then maybe one additional one coming from the Rift Herald when they plan on taking that.
The only good news so far that Team X has at this point in the game is that at least both of their AD carries is kind of still in the right timing of their spikes. But despite that, the carries on the side of Barcy is accelerating in the amount of time that they want it to.
Yeah.
So still it's anyone's game at this point, but it really looks like that Barcy has control over this.
It looks very scary as well, like how this game is going so far. Yaya is gonna need a lot of magic resist, and I'm surprised that Untitled actually going straight for the Trinity Force instead of getting the Hex Drinker. Very disrespectful. Like we said, 30 minutes for 14 minutes. He already has the package, so he has a few more seconds to use that.
Oh, a flash and a stun connects, and Lowest Gaming will be hunting down Ains onto this bot side, but that shield will just protect him out of it.
Yeah, that was really nice. Trading the package for Flash is 100% worth. Even Riot Freak would say, word! And then just go back to his basement.
Oh, Untitled going in front now, but I guess the timing is a bit too bad for her and misses that last hit for that kill.
Yeah, just seeing the jungler there earlier, and then instead of, respecting the fact that the jungler could be there, just goes ham.
Not sure why she actually Valkyried there, seeing as you can just kind of count when Missy Hops would have her stun in. Like,
yeah.
The moment she Valkyried in, she was stunned, and then she couldn't deal the amount of damage that could have made the difference on that trade. And she didn't even have wards on her side brushes, so it was quite questionable.
Yeah, very, very aggressive coming out from their side, but Wicked has been in the right place at the right time almost all the time. Aside from that kill onto the bot lane by the 2v2, the Scuttlers as well.
And
it's
RH
on
now.
point right now. Rift Herald, there we go. We will see the feast incoming if it's on off cooldown, but I guess no nom 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 for Cho'Gath, no additional stack.
Oh no, Janelle eating up another bind from the Morgana, goes down onto A, and Suzy Sor trying to get something off here with Missy Hoss, but that beast, Janie on that Cho'Gath, will be stopping a 3-man stack, and it just takes so much to just get her health down at 50% HP. Suzy Sor turns onto Missy Hops, gets a kill onto their Tibbers, though will have a bit of revenge to just get some HP down, and now at least Team X is on the scoreboard.
Yeah, finally, they woke up a little bit, but still, that's Rift Herald going to the Cho'Gath. We can utilize it later on and just make sure that this Corki will have a hard time farming if they would choose to open up that mid-tier 1.
And the second Drake is already up. It is a Mountain Drake for them. A bit more crucial for Team X to get it, since we did say they have the better pushing comp with a Jax and a Corki and a Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And it looks like Untitled may get this turret. Nope.
If he chose to use either a rocket or something, he probably could have gotten enough damage, but I'm not sure if he had enough mana for it actually.
Yeah, probably doesn't. Although a big one is already stacked there. Not gonna do much against that tanked up Cho'Gath though.
Yeah, so right now, like, I don't... Right now, you can see Untitled going for that, the anti-magic shield in the keystones instead of the mana flow band. That's why he's having mana problems. But this anti-magic shield actually kept him alive in multiple instances throughout the non-stop ganks coming out from Wicked.
And that small decision making could have been the difference between Team X getting that first turret of the game and Barcy transitioning out, rotating them into getting that bot turret and transitioning it to the Mountain Drake right now.
Yeah, exactly. So they get a free Drake as well, uncontested whatsoever. You also get the Herald.
Daime follows that up into Yeya, will not be living because of that bomb on her head. Lowes Gaming just tries to whittle down the backlines, but that's gonna be a double kill, maybe a triple if Ains gets this last one, and she does.
And yeah, that's 3 kills going straight, maybe even 4 on the side of Barcy. They're doing so much work. A solo kill on the top lane. Suzy Sword, you're not yet a champion against this Cho'Gath, not respecting the amount of damage. Gives another solo kill to the way of Janie, giving him another stack. Yo, nom nom nom.
And that's gonna be the second turret that Janie would be serving up for her team. The first one going down from the RH that was summoned, and now because of that solo kill, just gives her so much room to just slowly chunk it down.
Yeah.
Damn.
I would love to commend this Morgana, who is doing so much work.
Untitled just kind of really went in to target Missy Hops, even if Wicked was just like right there. They just didn't want to give up that turret. And Yeya probably just wanted to YOLO that ult, maybe to get that one last hit, but that was so...
That was very reminiscent of last game, the Blood Rage, you know, talking about like the transfer from Marianne Blood Rage Enriquez to Untitled Blood Rage Untitled. So like going ham 1v2, I'm gonna get this kill. Immediately gives a free kill onto the side of Barcy. I don't know what was going through her head.
Not sure either. It has been a long day, and this game, 19 minutes in, seems to just be accelerating even more. Lowes Gaming trying to get something out of it, just rocket jumps out of there and trying to get this turret to live as much as it can. But they don't seem to have much of an answer for Barcy's aggression right now.
No chance at all, because you can already see the AD carry gap. 20 CS. They used to be even, now there's 5 kills and 20 CS difference between both AD carries.
And Ains just has the time of her life right now, because both of her frontliners are quite stacked. Doesn't have much reason to fear the comp of Team X. Usually you'd be scared of Jax, of Suzy Star on Jax, because
You're not gonna be scared when you have Tibbers the Bear.
Yep, and 3 big brothers.
Yeah,
big sisters rather.
Very, very angry bear. Apparently the bear trumps the dinosaur.
Lowes Gaming channeling something to just initiate something for Team X, but a teleport comes in onto the side of Janie, and MDS gets that flash bind for
as you can
Barcy.
see, like,
Ain's
just doing so much work. You can see the AD gap right now. It's insane. And you can see them just barrel down mid lane. They're gonna get that inner turret, and they're looking at that inhibitor turret as well. There is no one to stop them. Death timer 17 seconds onto the 2 remaining members of Team X, and you can see they just go ham. They want Janelle, they want that brand, but no, instead they take the inhibitor turret as their prize. MDS almost dies to the comet that almost arrived at the last moment, at the last speck of time, but luckily Ains had the heal. Teammate,
Good
I got
call.
you've been hitting all the binds.
Good
Have a
call.
heal.
Good call on that heal, indeed.
Because just like respect,
Yeah.
it's earned just like a heal from your AD carry. If you're a good support, you get a heal. If you're a bad support, you can go die in a ditch.
Whoa.
At least that's how it's been so far.
Yeah, and Janelle FT is just not hitting her own win conditions onto that brand. You had a big point on how that brand could have functioned for the tanks of Barcy Esports, but given how bot lane happened, that they were bullied instead. Uh, she's now sitting on a tome and some health. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's basically it. That's the brand right there. 22 minutes and 22 seconds into the game, poof, this is the brand.
Yeah, and it's just not much peel the rest of Team X can hope for on this Corki, on this Jax, and that's those small gaps of damage would just give Ains a lot of time to just stock up her crits and those bombs for her.
Yeah, and like the question is, how do you even kill Wicked? She already has Warmog.
Ugh.
Skipping the Gargoyle Stoneplate, just going straight for that.
Lowest Gaming not gonna hit anyone onto that ult. Maybe even serving herself in the middle of all that stack. Suzy Soar tries to assassinate Ains, but just not enough. That brand ultimate not gonna do anything. Missy hops on a killing spree though, getting that Jax out. Ains is dominating after an extended fight.
Yeah, so at least Janelle finally gets herself on the board, gets a few kills. Remember, that passive still hurts onto tanks, slowly chipping away. They do not have their adaptive helms yet, so they are pretty squishy to the percentage damage coming out from the brand. It was actually an even fight. Both sides lost 2 members, and right now, Team X need to get the shutdown bounties.
Oh no, Janelle FT on the wrong side of the map in the very wrong time. Gets Ains the godlike and this turret as well. As the rest of Team X try to save that lane.
Yeah, Janelle, just tunnel visioning onto that pink ward reminds me of a very well-known jungler, very respectable, also loves his pink wards. And, it almost cost her life, but hopefully it doesn't cost them the game.
Yeah, but then this is a second Mountain Drake that will fall onto Barcy's buffs right now. And unless Team X gets a Hail Mary Baron steal again, it looks very grim for them to get back into this game.
Yeah, so right now I feel like the question is, how do they end the game? Barcy can look towards this Baron. They have 2 Mountain Drakes, but hey, they still have a lot of options. They still have that feast coming out from Janie. They have the level advantage also on their AD carry, so maybe Baron's the next play.
Yeah, perhaps. And things are going off there. Both teams that do have some vision over that Baron pit. But of course, Barcy just has the better room to place more wards there. They do control that side of the jungle, while the rest of Team X just tries their best to get as much farm as they can to be more, for their players to be more relevant. Lois finally getting that Warmogs for herself. She's still trying. It's great that until now, even at this point, Lois is still that jungler who's looking to make those plays, because she knows that it's her role to make it or break it. When she actually finds it and everything falls through, they may actually get a few kills out of it and just keep exiting. They take what you get and not go too deep into it until the big fight where everything's even.
Yeah, the only way the Team X can actually win this is if they claw their way back through Turtling,
But how can you turtle when the Cho'Gath is that big?
Yeah, the Cho'Gath will just, rip open their shells and...
Suzy Soar might get chomped. Yep, and
there
gets
you
a
go.
killing spree onto Janie. Lois Gaming just tries her best to get people into formation, but just gonna go down onto that stacked Tristana. Double kill now onto her as she gets
that's
untitled. Yep, that's going to be game for them. Janelle FT And yeah, just trying to fight their best through this losers bracket finals, losing again against their rivals that relegated them here in the first place. But I guess Barcy will be meeting the ones who relegated them in return, Posse PH, in the best of 3 finals.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like the Annie show. It was the Ain show. It was just Tristana popping off so much. 10-0-5, perfect game coming out from the Tristana. If we could actually get the damage graphs as well, I'm pretty sure she topped the charts.
Yeah, and that Cho'Gath just really shutting down Suisor's capabilities onto that Jax was also a key point on how proactive Team X could be. Because when Suisor feels great, like everyone feels great on that team.
Yeah,
and it just didn't happen.
It's just the story of top lane as well. Like, we went over 2 games between these 2 teams, and then you can see there the damage graph. You can just see it's the Ain show, basically the Ain show, and you can see Janelle actually doing a lot of damage. Even though she died the most for Team X, she still dealt the most damage on their side.
It just didn't matter so much because of the tanks.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, like, the Tristana did so much work compared to anyone else on the entire team.
And possibly one of the best Tristana performances we've seen in this entire tournament as well. Didn't have much of a hard time trying to get to that scale. Even carried the team onto victory with that damage graph. Did so much work so early on. And that's just what Barcy is capable onto doing. And maybe we'll see that into the best of 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we will be back after a short break as we head on to the best of 3 finals between Posse PH and Barcy Esports. Will Barcy get a win of Posse PH, who relegated them in the first place? Let's see. We have been your shoutcasters for this game. I'm Meta.
And I'm Iconic.
See you guys.